Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast, the show we whore out so much we might as well just start making pornos with it. Oh! I am your host, as always, Jed Porto. Joining me, as always, my glorious co-host, Marcus Green. We are in day 2 of Cornet Watch.
Cornet Wall. Cornet Wall.
We're keeping an eye on the old Kaiser, making sure he doesn't go crazy. Apparently, there are people who don't think that anyone else should be fired. And I'm just like, you're wrong.
It's like you can't even debate against a taped argument.
Right? Like, listen, you can argue the merits of whether he should have been fired. I feel there's warrants for both cases. He has a sketchy history when it comes to race relations. And also, the joke wasn't that bad. So, like, I get both sides of the equation. He's kind of a douche, but also, but on the flip side of things, you done did the thing, and you let it get to air. That means someone listening thought it was a funny joke.
And also, and I don't think this is the point you brought up. Had somebody not said anything, would have it even been a thing? Because, like you said, it got checked and then it got put to air. So I would imagine it wasn't one of those things like Billy watches the day it drops and then like, oh, was that a Native American joke? Oh, hell no.
Billy was sorry, William Patrick Corgan. He's very adamant that you refer to him in the most pretentious way possible. The defender of Alex Jones himself probably saw the video.
He's an owner.
What's that?
Well, he's an owner now, Chad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So William Patrick Corgan, the defender of Alex Jones, probably was like, a joke about black people and famine. No, that's good. Joke about smashing pumpkins. Fire them. Throw them in a wood chipper.
What was what was what was the line from the fat guy from Space Jam, the Michael, about the Looney Tunes? No, it's fine. Doesn't bother you. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, he ended up going into the game later in the movie. What did he say? I don't remember. I remember he had a great line about how Michael got to the Toonville. I haven't seen that movie in God knows how long. But watch, no one has. No one has. That movie is not very good. But when that sequel or remake finally comes out, everyone's gonna be like, "Why are you ruining my childhood?" Lol. Listen, I'm a fan of the Bugs, the Babs, the Busters. Those are all bunnies in the Warner Brothers cartoon catalog. Y'all, Space Jam ain't nothing to protect. It's fine. Like, it's fine. Like this ain't the hill to die on. Like, there's other properties that we gotta worry about. The possibility that the remake Back to the Future. I will kill a bitch. But Space Jam ain't that. It ain't that horse. It ain't that horse. If they're gonna remake it, it's probably gonna be awful. Because the first one ain't much better. I will say though, Bugs giving everyone steroids at halftime, legit low key one of the best fucking things ever happened to cinema.
Falcon leg gonna come there. We need it bad.
Yeah, Mike, you take steroids. Stop holding out on the steroids.
What was the dog that you wouldn't hold out? No, that was Sylvester. You wouldn't hold out on us, would you? Like, no. But you're so tough, competitive.
I didn't think you guys needed it. I think Daffy was like digging his foot in and going, "Daw," when he was saying it. My favorite part of that whole fucking travesty of a film is when Bill Murray randomly shows up. And Daffy's like, "All right, Bill, how the hell did you get here?" "Oh, you know how it is. You know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy and drops you off." And Daffy just goes, "Well, that is how it is." Like, God damn it,
Oh, that.
Daffy.
And then when Jordan gets that first half when he's going off, and then the villain like, where the hell did they get this guy? It's like he was like, oh no, not the boss. He's a baseball player. Looks like a basketball player to me.
It's the perfect fucking excuse, though. He was playing baseball, boss. Goddamn. So I made Marcus watch All Wheels Wrestling.
Yes, you did.
I consider Marcus a very good friend. You should all now know that I consider myself a sadist in the same breath. So if I must suffer, you will too.
That's after he said that. When he said that, I was like, I'm glad we're not beefing then. Jesus.
Yeah, if we were beefing. Hoo, hoo, hoo. That's one of those where I find a way to hack into all of your appliances and just loop from Justin to Kelly for 34 days. You turn on the blender and it's some dance number from that movie. Or worse yet, I just do fucking High School Musical. We're all in this together.
That's, that's how you know how much Chad loves that movie. He uses it as a torture device. That's yeah. Justin Kelly is for you what the Marine was for The Rock.
I'm telling you, Marcus, I didn't believe the hype when we that movie from Justin to Kelly is widely considered to be one of the 5 worst movies in history in America. So obviously, I needed to find out how bad it was. Oh, it's bad.
Is it above or behind DB Evolution?
Well, I don't. It's worse. Whatever one was the qualification for worse. It's worse. Like watching Chow Yun Fat do fart jokes better than from Justin to Kelly. Like the Scott's Tots from The Office better from Justin to Kelly. The Human Centipede probably from Justin to Kelly. I refuse to watch it.
And it's funny because somebody will say something otherwise, and they'll probably get them jumped by both of us. But you're like, you know what was really worse than Justin Kelly? Xenon.
So if anyone actually thinks that, I'm going to need your name, your number, your address, your social security number, the days and times in which your parents expect you to call, because you going to disappear. Protozoa is the greatest rock star of all time. It's Protozoa and oh, I am so mad at myself that I completely forgot who it is. The dude from a Goofy movie.
Oh yes, yes,
Oh, what is
yes.
his
Him and
name?
also like the girls from the Witch Scooby Doo animated movie.
Oh, the Hex Girls.
Yeah, yeah.
They can bite me anytime. What is? It's like Livewire, I think, or Prime Wire. It's something real goofy. I didn't mean to do that. Goofy
Oh, that's
movie.
funny. Goofy movie. We googling it at the same
Yeah, yes,
time. That's
yes, we
hilarious.
are.
Powerline.
Powerline. I knew it was something dumb.
That sounds like a bad electric villain from the Arrowverse.
I was thinking of bad electric villain from the Darkwing Duckverse. I
Yeah,
am Powerline.
dangerous.
Let's get AC/DC electrical voltage. I
That would
wrote
have been such. That would have been a good Halloween costume, by the way.
Darkwing Duck? Yeah.
No, Powerline.
All right, you go as Powerline, I'll go as Darkwing Duck. Because I want to say,
Uh,
I am the terror that quacks in the night. And then just have like a giant bill on.
then I'm gonna want to get on Duck Brand and come as one of the Mighty Ducks.
I am fine with that, especially the big hulking one with the gold mask. Like
Yeah.
100% on board with that. Like we can do the duck motif for Halloween.
He reminds me of Toru from Jackie Chan. animated adventure.
Ah, yes. Wasn't Toru the villain or a villain, or was he an ally of
Yeah,
Grandpa?
he was a villain at first, and then he came to the good side. He was always the calm one, kind of like the big guy in Mighty Ducks.
So he's basically that character from Doctor Strange. He's all like, "You gotta chill, Doc." And he's like, "Who are you?" "I'm the bookkeeper." "So you're a librarian." I mean, if you want to be a dick about it. So All Wheels Wrestling was an idea by Jeff Jarrett. The shocks should stop there. What? Jeff Jarrett thought of this?
Double J.
Say it's not true, Jeff. Say it's not true. And the concept was that you were going to have a season. Now, there's a lot of this that I actually liked in terms of concept. There was going to be 4 teams. And on this team, you were going to have eventually a singles wrestler, a tag team wrestler, an X Division wrestler, a women's wrestler, and the 4 groups would compete throughout the year to be able to enter into the playoffs, so to speak, to try to get the Conference Cup or whatever the fuck they were calling it. I like that because it's very much like a sport at that point. And you know me in pro wrestling, Marcus, I like it more when it's pretended to be a sport. WMAC Masters is the greatest thing to happen to cinema. They were trying, like, there was a lot of money put into this. This was made directly for the Speed Network. The Speed Network and the then known TNA were working hand in hand with creating this. But Speed Network ended up having a lot of financial issues. This was part of the reason why they were trying to diversify their lineup. And that's why All Wheels Wrestling ended up not getting picked up at the end of the day. Name escapes me. I have it written somewhere. They were looking at getting a monster truck driver to do the play-by-play duties of All Wheels Wrestling. But Marcus, would you like to take a wild guess which muscle car enthusiast and former world champion All Wheels Wrestling was trying to bring in to be the color commentator?
It was a former wrestling world champion.
Yes. Jim Cornette. Good eye. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Oh, that is hilarious.
This Jim Cornette's not gonna go away. we're gonna keep banging this joke into the ground. He's a former world champion and he's a muscle car enthusiast. Does any of those kind of combine give you an idea of who we're talking about?
I don't know why I noticed it ain't the answer, but for some reason Sting popped up in my head.
You're like a half step away from who it is. It's Goldberg.
God,
Goldberg, even into his late or early middle of his wrestling career, Goldberg was well known for being a muscle car enthusiast. He hung out with Jay Leno. They talked about his favorite muscle cars. You know, he had all these old school 70s and 60s eras, big block American power. That's supposed to be a car engine. I'm so tired. But for whatever reason, negotiations did not go further. And the funny thing was, Goldberg was so close to signing. Eric Bischoff went and visited him in New York, and they did a helicopter tour together. This got the internet world a buzz, thinking that Goldberg was coming into TNA, but in actuality, they were looking at him coming into All Wheels Wrestling. Now, what we are going to show you clips of tonight, I have the full video, is the initial pilot. The idea was that they were going to sell this, and they were going to reshoot a lot of the commentary with the monster truck driver whose name escapes me, and Bill Goldberg. There's a lot of old school evidence to support these claims and theories. I'm not going to go and get it all for the bottom of the video because, quite frankly, just don't want to. But if you Google it, you can find enough stories. Now, one of the things that separated All Wheels Wrestling apart from, say, Impact or any other pro wrestling promotion is the fact that they were going to bring in a lot of race car drivers, stunt car drivers, You had dirt bikers, you had funny car drivers, drag racers. If it had an engine and went vroom, someone made it as a world champion while driving it, and they were brought in to shoot this pilot. Now, some of these names, Marcus, I don't know if you've ever watched NASCAR. Used to be pretty big. A lot of these names, this was filmed in 2011, a lot of these names were either super big in terms of current NASCAR culture 9 years ago, or were legitimate legends in the industry. Then you had guys who were like, I drive the truck series. No one fucking watches the truck series. Who the fuck are you? Then you had like this BMXer. He's like, I'm a BMXer. And they're like, you're like 40, bro. Why are you still riding a bike? Time to get your license. So that was one of the more unique and original concepts. Jeremy Borash was doing commentary. Don West joined him. And I think there was another voice. Name escapes me at the moment. They shot it in the impact zone and they decorated it in checkered flags all over the place. Marcus, how are you vibing with the race aesthetic, with the checkered flags, the NASCAR drivers, the sprint car drivers, and the fact that they had teams that were called like Team Octane, that was like an IndyCar team, led by
Yeah,
RPM, known as Jay Lethal.
yeah. Yeah, what? That's who that was? No.
Right? Shocking. No, that's not Jay Lethal. It's very, very much
No,
Jay
that's
Lethal.
not That's not Black Machismo's reincarnated brother, or should I say brother? Um,
Come.
yeah, I thought I thought it was a cool gimmick for um for the show. Like you said, I think some of the concepts were really cool. Um, it was interesting to me because I was wondering like how far they were gonna go with like the race car aspect in terms of um like having like actionable stuff on the show besides like you said the stage setup and the like the name inspired type of stuff and maybe some of the gear. Like I thought like we would see like I don't know, maybe I was looking for like to be set up the way it was like wrestling along with some like a small track behind them with guys doing little jumps in between breaks or something. I don't know. Because what they kept doing was like cutting to actual race car footage and getting commentary from like actual people.
Hmm.
Um, but when they showed the footage, that kind of took me out of it. One because I don't watch, but also it because they kept bringing it up in that way. I was like, okay, now are they going to infuse any of this into the actual show in terms of a practical type of deal? But it was still cool. Like you said, I like the whole concept of the speed bouts and the names of a lot of stuff, and some interesting stage setups. But it very much came off by the time I got through with it, and obviously we'll get into the details. But it came off like a cool concept for like a one night only type of deal.
Yeah, kind of like what they're doing with this going back to the 80s gimmick for Thanksgiving next week.
Yeah, yeah.
So the four wrestlers that they conned into doing this, because why would you do this
Con,
voluntarily,
con.
were Jay Lethal, Davari, Sheik Abdul Bashir. In this, he's known as
Yoked,
Dubai,
yoked Devar.
Yoked Davari. You had Aguilar. Did you recognize who he is, Marcus?
No, and I was waiting for you to tell me because I was like, what? Who?
Well, John Cena's kidneys remember him.
Oh,
Because,
Carlito's body.
yes. Yes, that is in fact the character that stabbed John Cena in the kidneys so Cena could go and film The Marine. So he's done two bad things in one spell. He stabbed John Cena and he allowed him to make The Marine. Kind of a fucked up move there.
It's funny because on this show he came off very much like a character who could have been a villain to go against John Cena in the ring with how he was handling poor Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah, Sanjay Dutt, who's the fourth member of the roster. He got things done to him. So Davari is Dubai. I'm not sure if that's racist or not. and he's the captain of the off-road street racing team. So they're the ne'er-do-wells of the race world. You race street, you bad person. You do the off-road. What bad guy? Doesn't make a lick of sense, but hey, what are you gonna do? All these guys also had masks too, except for Aguilar, which I thought was funny. The Dutt has like this eye thing. What? Why? Dutt is going by, his team is Team 720, and he's known as Schwag D. Marcus.
Yeah,
Schwag
that was awful.
D.
Yeah, why did they spell it like that? Schwank, schwank. That's how it's spelled. Schwank.
The Y is obvious. They foretold a great podcast that would come to mock them 9 years from now. We were that podcast. So Schwag D represents the BMXers, the surfboarders, anything with a board or a bike and a propensity of going only 30 miles an hour. And Dutt, just like the swole by over there, is yoked, jacked to the gills. Pretty impressive. Then you got Team Dino, and they're the monster truck guys. They're the real villains. Aguilar, by the way, is going by the Human Cyclone, which is just a great, terrible nickname that doesn't make any fucking sense for his representation. They're represented by Supercross, dirt tracks, and monster truck racing. I liked the idea of incorporating the types of racing with the general vibe of the team. And one of the things that they would end up doing with this is going further into the dynamic and showcasing the wrestlers based off of the styles their team is. So with Aguilar's Team Dino, monster trucks. So he's big, he's powerful, he does the big, powerful stuff. Jay Lethal's, stock car, drag racing. So he's going to be fast, he's going to be powerful. Sanjay Dutt is a dynamic dude without the surfboard. Nope, skateboard, there it is. They do big tricks in big air, so Dutt's going to do a lot of big time moves off the top rope. Davari, his is his dirt track racing. It's illegal actions like straight racing. So he's going to be more malicious and more, driven by the idea of breaking the rules. So I liked that the idea of the team races inspired the team's kind of general structure. It's like with the Warriors, you're going to look for 3-point shooting. Or like with the Grizzlies during the grit and grind era, you're going to look for guys who can play defense and score in the low post. So and the idea was that they were going to bring in wrestlers that would represent these four teams in that regard. So like there was going to be a dearth of talent that would be like Jay Lethal or Dutt or Aguilar or Dubai. So I thought that was a cool idea. Marcus, would you like to have seen some more wrestlers join the fracas? Or is this staying at a one-time pilot good enough for you?
It was a one-off, like a one-time thing, like just the whole thing as a whole.
Loved that mask though, from Jay Lethal.
Yeah, yeah. The thing I did was you could tell he had a lot of fun with this.
Or
Like
he was
like
really
you could
high.
like,
Wait.
because it was good.
You're saying I got to go out there
Go
underneath
ahead.
a mask with sunglasses sewn in? Yep, I'm getting so high.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're gonna get roasted and toasted. Oh, yeah. So the third name, by the way, is Hermie Sadler. So it kind of made sense to have the Sadler, Sadinator, on this panel, this dais of commentary royalty, with the Jeremy Borash when he had hair and Don West. Not the worst commentary team. And you mentioned before that they had these sprint matches. And the idea behind the sprint matches were very simple. They would have two matches, two matches each week, with a 5-minute time limit, and you had to essentially score as many points as possible in that 5 minutes. The most wrestlers at the end of the episode would then face off with, or at least the top two, would face off in a match to go for even more points. Now, the ending match, the big match, could be more than two. It could be 3 or 4. They made a point of clarification that it wasn't necessarily just going to be one one-on-one matches for the big match at the end of the show. So it's very much a tournament based. And I think they said submissions were 5, pins were 4, disqualifications 4 were 3, against were -2, and a draw was 1, I think. What did you think about the mini tournament style for the episodes? Or episode?
I dug it. Yeah, I dug it. I like those speed things. The only thing with me is I had to decondition myself because I'm like, wait a minute. He stayed down for 3 for that. You get what I'm saying? Like on certain moves or what, like certain things look better than others getting the pinfall. Like that running STO looked real good.
A vertical
But
suplex
like
for 3?
yeah. Wait a minute. That was a damn snapmare. But yeah, that was probably it. Because I like that concept. It kind of reminded me. I mean, obviously, it goes back to what are those matches WWE does um, with the time limits on them.
Scramble matches.
The scrap, you beat the clocks.
Beat the clocks. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah, the beat the clock matches. So it gave a sense of urgency, and again, you had to do something with the kind of racing motif to it. So that made sense, and it allowed for there not to be 15 what feels like 15-minute headlocks in the middle of a beatdown.
Yep.
So
Or 15 minutes of high spots unnecessarily,
yeah, exactly.
depending on which company you want to take shots at. One of the cool things I liked about this, before we get into the second speed match, was... Let's see if it loads. All right, there we go. Was the setup of the arena. A lot of checkered flags. They had a very old school Impact entrance. But the thing that I remember really harking on and enjoying was the dumb little commentary table. And we're about to see it here coming up on the video. The entrance is tight, by the way. I like the entrance. But the commentary setup, Marcus, was great because it had 3 TV panels interlocked to kind of form like this backdrop. Then you had the announce table, which had 3 sides to it, which you never see, making it feel more like a studio booth than a wrestling ring commentary table. It made it feel authentic and unique to its own property, and I wish more companies would consider going into a different direction when it comes to presenting the commentary. Most people just put a table by the ring and put the guys on there and say, go. But this gave you an actual attempt at something different. What did you feel of the stadium or the arena setup for the Impact Zone, specifically with the commentary booth?
Oh yeah, that did catch my eye. It kind of I don't think it stuck out to me as much as you, just because for the most part I did kind of get caught up in the nostalgia of the old TNA setup and seeing young Jeremy Bullrash with a always spry Don West. Um, so I kind of got caught up in saying the nostalgia. Obviously, I'm a sucker for that tunnel entrance. But yeah, like I said, I think they did a really good job where like definitely putting forth a good effort to make the aesthetic of the show with the race car and even getting into the commentary table, which you don't really see a lot of shows remember to add. It's a little nuance that not a lot of wrestling companies would go to because it's commentary, so.
That's exactly why I liked it, because it's that little bit of extra that makes the show
Yeah.
just so much more its own thing. One of the things that they ended up doing throughout the episode is updating you on standings. At the end of each speed match, guys would have points that they tallied from the speed matches, with the top 2 going into the finals, or possibly all 4 going into the finals. I thought that was a cool idea. I like the idea of points, or at least I like the idea of points in this regard. Then we go into the second speed match, and we get introduced to basically a mercy rule. I believe it was 20 points or 21 points. If you scored 20 points, the match is over, you automatically win. What did you feel about, one, Sanjay Dutt getting pointed, if you will, and 2, the fact that they have a mercy rule?
I don't think I dug it. Um, and I definitely didn't dig it after, kind of seeing him get slaughtered. Although it made sense with what they was going for the guy's character. He was a beast, but it kind of just seemed like at one point it was like, okay, it's like somebody's playing a video game and Sanjay Dutt's character controller locked up. Seemed like it just locked up.
The pizza bites for a done in the oven, and he goes to get him, and he comes back, "Oh, you unpaused me!"
Yeah, and the other guys just smashing buttons, and the other guy's controller just in the shell going. Just going on. That's what that match was. Yeah, but I don't think I dug the mercy rule too much. Because again, um, and also I meant to you on this because like, do they have something like that in race car?
I don't. I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know they don't have it in wrestling. Like even if the guy is unresponsive, we just see the guy get pulverized until the guy pins him, and then that's it. Then they check on him. So, if they added that just for this show, I don't think it was necessary.
I like that. Do they have that in race car? Marcus, how white do you think I am? I only watched a little NASCAR when I was a kid because my dad watched it. So I was like, all right, I don't really have any other option. We only have the one TV with cable, so I guess I'm watching NASCAR today. But no, there's no mercy rule, I think, in racing, unless you're in a demolition derby. So to clarify, Dutt didn't get pointed, if you will. He didn't get beaten on points. He almost got beat by points. I think Aguilar had to get one more pinfall on him to do so. And the other thing that was mentioned, that if you got basically mercy ruled, you could not be in the final match of the night. Like, you were disqualified from competing in that instance. And they would go on to really hammer home that idea when they would have Dutt be the one to win the final match. Now, the final match is called the Big Air Challenge. Marcus, I've never seen a match like this before.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The first thought that came to my head was it was a TNA match, but not that TNA match.
They definitely were trying
Something
to
that
Go on.
was something that was a little bit elevated.
Yeah, it's definitely not an elevated. Definitely not elevated. But the thing is it is an X Division match. It's an Ultimate X match. They call it the Big Air Challenge, but it's definitely an Ultimate X match. Could have been an elevated X match. That would have been fun to watch Aguilar walk across those tiny ass platforms.
That's what I thought it was, but then again, I was like, you know what? I just every time I think of that match, I'm like, the concept is exciting. Then you put AJ Styles and Rhino on there. You say that had to be the most pedestrian gore in the history of that move, because obviously it had to be. So it's not really conducive to a lot of dangerous stuff.
And yet the fans loved it. Go figure. So the Big Air Challenge is nothing more than a glorified Ultimate X match. They have a giant WA symbol, hanging in the middle of the structure. Same rules apply. Nothing about this match is noteworthy. Like, you're not going to see anything in this match that makes you go, oh, I should probably check this out. This is a hidden gem. It's not like watching Kurt Hennig versus Hulk Hogan on those old Jimmy Hart wrestling videos from back in the day. So one of the things that was funny as hell, though, as you see here, I hope we didn't skip it. No, we did not. So, hang on, let me see. 38. No, should be coming up on it. So, Jay Lethal goes to the ringside floor. And as he's sitting there hanging out, mid-match, Marcus,
That's why sometimes we share a brain.
mid-match, I mean, does your brain involve playing with those little wind-up monkey toys that clash their cymbals together? 'Cause that's my brain. If you ever have a moment you're like, you know what I really like? Those wind-up cymbal monkeys. Those are cool. That's when you know you have my brain.
Not a lot, but the wind up cymbal monkey is the perfect representation for what happened here.
Basically, there's just a monkey in the director's booth going, slamming the cymbals together, and the guys are like, monkey, what do we do? And then somebody goes, throw Army Sadler out there.
We need a random ringside interview. Quick, do it.
Like, there are things about this that are like, all right, I like the setup of the ring, of the ring commentary table. I like the idea of incorporating styles into the teams and teams in general and points for the matches. But the one thing I will not be okay with is this random ass, as they called it, pit crew interview or pit road interview, where Jay Lethal goes to the ringside floor and Hermie Sadler goes, Jay, do you have time to do an interview? Or RPM. But he actually calls him Jay. And he's like, Hermie, I can't wait to go to Ring of Honor. He doesn't say it, but the eyes do. The eyes do. And all the while, you can hear wrestling happening around them. It's fucking hilarious. This is the most ridiculous concept I've seen so far in this episode.
It was wacky. The concept of the interview was like, Jay, you're kicking their ass. Tell me how you going to keep kicking their ass. Well, such and such and such, that's helped me kick their ass. If I just keep doing that, I think I can win. Good talking to you. Like, what?
Ooh, yeah. So the only saving grace about this match is that Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt are, at least at the time, really good friends in real life. So they have great chemistry together. Aguilar looks lost, and Dubai is trying his best to be 5 inches taller than he is. So that's not... I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, Dubai was trying to be this dirty power wrestler. But he's coming up to Jay Lethal's chest. Lethal's 5'7". How short are you, Dubai? How short are you? So there were obviously some... some issues with the ending, not with the ending, with the general idea of the match itself. But it does end with Dutt getting the thing. There's not really a lot of oh my god moments in this match, but it's a cool little piece of TNA history if you want to go looking for it. I don't think it's officially owned by TNA because the video that we're watching it on is the Kevin Sullivan, I think is what it was called. Hang on, let's scroll down. Kevin Sully TV. Thank you. What a terrible name for a Vimo channel. Aguilar does hit a top rope clothesline, a top rope twisting clothesline, which was pretty cool. Dude's 6'8", so that's not easy to do. So credit where credit's due. Would you have watched this series if it had been picked up, Marcus?
Yeah, because I don't think it could have continued on like this because it's a nice idea, but I don't know how much obviously there was more lent to the wrestling side because that was more of the practical side that they could do.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I think the concepts for the matches obviously they had racing things with it and the aesthetic of the environment. But just for me personally, I would have liked to see more creative input put forth, and I don't know if they had the money or the just the desire to go that far with it. Um, so I think this was a good one-off type of deal. But for me, like I said, I think this would have, if they wanted to keep it for some kind of reason, I think this would have been a good overall like theme to do for like I said, like a pay per view or one night only. Because we got them so many times in WWE, all those taboo Tuesdays and the over the limits and all that stuff. Like I think this would have been a better executed version on there had they thought out, fleshed out some more ideas. Take away the pit side crew interview, jeez, but like add some more stuff to it. I think it could have been a really good pay per view idea.
Those pay-per-views you mentioned, Taboo Tuesdays and Over the Limits, are just Vince's regular Tuesday night sex lives.
But back then with some of the chicks on the roster, I guess.
Yeah, because that stopped. So, overall, I thought this was a goofy ass concept, but I thought it was also a really interesting piece of TNA and wrestling history. The show
Yeah.
the show was made specifically for the Speed Network, and there was an attempt. I think there was a network at the time called Fuel that they were trying to pitch it to. Once Speed Network ended up passing because they didn't have the budget for it. And I think there was even a time when Spike TV had shown some interest because they had been starting to work with Bill Goldberg at the time on several other properties. Discovery Channel, I think, was also doing some car stuff as well. But eventually, no one had the budget to do it, and it ended up being just kind of a lost piece of wrestling history. At the time, Jeff Jarrett was also founding and running another TNA offshoot, India's Ring King, which gave us Mahabali Shera. So there's that. We'll talk about Ring King eventually, but there's like 40 episodes, and we might need to get a Hindi to English dictionary because there's a lot of like dual languaging on that show. But it gives you such great stars like that one Indian guy, and this other Indian guy who only started wrestling 2 weeks ago, and this other Indian guy, as well as Dr. Nick Dinsmore, Scott Steiner, Nick Aldis, and Matt Morgan. That show was weirder than this one.
It's funny because it feels like Rinka King was some of the origins for putting Magnus in positions to eventually be that guy.
Literally was. It literally, Marcus, you ruined the fucking episode. Now we can't do it. Marcus ruined the lead.
Wait a minute. Was this where it started when Magnus started doing that his I'm going retro thing?
Well, he was going India. But yeah, probably. Rinka King is another interesting character, another Jeff Jarrett-led product, and was actually a huge ratings winner for, I don't know if it was Sony 6, but for one of India's more major outlets. I don't know why they didn't do a second season, but, reasons, I guess.
Maybe it's because of some of the ones you listed, like the primary drawing point of our show is the people who didn't start wrestling yesterday and speak English.
Yeah.
Which almost kind of defeats half the purpose when this is being on a Indian and marketed towards an Indian audience.
Well, they did create one wrestler who was super over. The best way I can describe him, because I don't remember his name off the top of my head. The best way to describe him is he's an Indian Jack Burchill, who was Paul Burchill, sorry, who was doing a Jack Sparrow gimmick. Remember that when he was the pirate?
Mm-hmm. Paul Burchill, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he looked like, only he wasn't a pirate. And I wasn't joking about the Ring King and Mahabali Shera. Mahabali Shera was the Ring King Final World Champion. So we're gonna watch this. I don't know when. Oh, by the by, Magnus is still going by Sir Brutus Magnus at the time.
Oh wow, yeah. Hoping this one fades out of your brain. Jeez. Oh.
Which one, Rinka King
So,
or AAW? Aw.
no, I can actually sit through and watch this again. But that Brutus, man,
Oh
maybe we
yeah.
should end up doing a show about things with Jeff Jarrett that kind of worked.
I mean, that's really a large scale operation. Let's talk about the things that Jeff Jarrett tried to do that almost worked. You mean everything? I don't have the time,
Do we
Marcus.
start? Do we start or finish with that whole gold thing?
Oh God, that's not good. So I want to get you hyped for this, Marcus. Here's some of the names you can expect for Rinka King, which we might do in 2 weeks. Eugene, aka Dr. Nicholas Densmore. Matt Morgan, Magnus, Chavo Guerrero, Sanjay Dutt, just to name a few. Tag team side of things, we got Sheikh Mustafa Bashir and Sheikh Abdul Bashir. So, yes, that's Arya Davari. Arya Davari is on this show. We have British Bulldog, aka Bulldog Hart, and Chavo Guerrero as a tag team. You have Nunzio and Joey Ryan as a tag team. Show's weird. Magnus and Sanjay Dutt. Jimmy Rave and Zima Ion, DJZ. The Mumbai Cats, who are basically, best way to kind of paint them is they're the Indian Los Conquistadors. And then you have the Bollywood Boys, Gurv Shira and Harv Shira, who you might know better as the bodyguards to Jinder Mahal. So yeah, this got some talent we can talk about. I'll have to find some episodes though to send to you because otherwise it's going to be a little hard to do.
Wait a minute. Did you end that list with Jinder Mahal?
I ended that list with Gurvan Harv Shira, who were bodyguards for Jinder Mahal.
Oh, okay. The Bollywood boys. Yeah,
Yes, the
the
Bollywood
Bollywood boys.
boys.
Gotcha.
Although,
I'm about to say,
I like the idea
yeah.
of the Bollywood boys. Two poor Indians coming in by way of L.A. who are just so upset with the status quo. I would be a fan of that tag team. We are the
And they would,
Bollywood boys.
and they would do rags and Jordans, but they got dots on their forehead. I can't.
Yeah. They got wife beaters, dots on their foreheads. They're wearing saris, but they got jean shorts, Jankos.
They got on Aladdin pants and FUBU. Uh,
FUBU! They're FUBU pants.
oh my god.
I don't know if it'd be racially insensitive or culturally progressive, but it should be a tag team, and I would 100% endorse it.
Oh, the Bollywood boys going against. Hey, it's time to party.
Is that Private Party's theme?
yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure that was Private Party's theme or if it was the other party team, Street Profits. I don't know. I don't watch either program. I got my barely racist NWA. I got my super progressive Impact Wrestling. And then I got the Japanese boys. I'm covered.
Oh man, I'm not looking forward to who they replace Cornette with, because like I said, even with all of his cornettedness, he was perfect for that product.
Yeah. Because you feel vaguely offended while watching it.
He knows.
I'm
He
sitting
know,
at, I'm sitting at home going,
yeah,
I hope Marcus isn't watching this week because I feel super racially offended right now.
it's just like it's like I tweeted to you like, man, either we're too like not sensitive, or it almost seems like something's wrong with us because of stuff that like people blow up about. It's like yeah, was it in poor taste? But I mean, we actively watch worse, and nothing gets done about it on a weekly basis. In fact, it gets cheered because of the person that does it.
I mean,
So
we kind of live in a weird world where people are dying because of their political beliefs. I'm not gonna be outraged because Jim Cornette said a 40-year-old joke when he's 70. Somebody said to me, Somalia hasn't had a famine in 30 years. I'm like, yeah, and that joke was written 40 years ago. And we all know Jim Cornette doesn't move off of his original jokes or points. He still thinks Dick Murdoch was a good dude. Dick Murdoch was in the Klan. Dick Murdoch's not Trevor Murdoch, just for clarity's sake. Dick Murdoch was an old-timey wrestler. Came up through the 60s and 70s.
That's some serious contradiction with that, because the same person that got offended by that is the same person that's telling you that they haven't experienced famine in however many years, but they came off with the being offended like it's actually still going on the way they took the joke.
Right.
But just the camera, not still a thing. But the joke felt like it was. What?
That
Okay.
trauma ended 30 years ago. But when I hear that joke, it feels like I'm there again. Then you need to go back to therapy because it didn't work. I don't know, man. Like, you and I have both seen some shit. So I feel like if two people are going to be hyper aggressively sensitive, it would be us, right? But maybe we're just not going to be easily offended. I don't know.
And maybe we just because we're grounded and we see all these crimes going on and nothing's really happening, and these are the things that people really should be flipping these tables over. Not Jim Cornette saying an off-color joke that, as crass as it may come off, is very Cornette. And it's not like, how many weeks has this program been on? It's not like it's been a string of offensive stuff that's come out of the man's mouth. This is Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
We're talking about. So he's been pretty good.
And also, you got to realize, Jim Cornette's threatened to kill Vince Russo. Jim Cornette had a meltdown in a Wendy's drive-thru. If you've never seen that, Marcus, it's high entertainment. Jim Cornette came up with the greatest departure line of all time. Thank you, fuck you, bye. Are you really that surprised that he went blue with his jokes? Like, this is like getting mad that Vince McMahon said the N-word. Why are you surprised? Like, anger comes from a place of shock. Why are you shocked? Like, this is like smacking an alligator in the face and getting bit. Like, why are you shocked that was going to happen? It's like opening up a bag of treats and seeing 16 dogs show up. Why are you shocked that was going to happen? Of course it was going to happen. It was preordained. You hit the stupid button and stupid things transpire.
And nobody ever says the actual answer. They're like, well, no, because it's, they'll say, oh, because it's wrong. Like, no, because it's convenient now to say that it's wrong.
Yup.
A couple years ago, it would have been the funniest thing on the internet.
Yup. 100% all the yups. It is easy for you to be offended, so you are. But Disney's got a fucking monopoly. They pay their employees $10 on the goddamn fucking theme parks. But y'all got to sign up for the Disney Plus because that's the hotness. But God forbid you actually take a stand for anything that matters. Can't interrupt your Marvel viewing or your Disney princessing. Just saying. Just saying. So, Marcus, All Wheels Wrestling, do you feel personally offended that I made you watch this?
No, it is not. It wasn't as terrible as I thought it was gonna be. Like I said, I think seeing, like I said, that it's a mix of that old TNA nostalgia. Some of the cooler concepts were mixing in some of the race.
Different kind of race. Different kind of race. Different kind of race.
Different kind of race. Different kind of race. Fast car theme type of deals. And like I said, it looked like, well, Jay Lethal, whether he was high or otherwise, looked like he was genuinely having fun. It was cool to see Don West and young JB. And like I said, it's not like it was the worst night of wrestling ever. No, it was just fine. It was
Yeah,
just fine.
yeah.
You know, we've seen far worse and have been told to take what we saw seriously. So this wasn't that.
The funny thing is this was filmed I think in 2011. So had Hulk Hogan not given Abyss his old WCW theme and his Hall of Fame ring, Hogan bringing in Jay Lethal as RPM would have been the best transition ever
Oh,
because he's decked out in the red, white, and blue. So he's got the red, white, and blue running through his veins. Like it would have been perfect. But of course, Hogan thought making Abyss of all people his replacement essentially was the way to go.
highly hilarious. This Hulk Hogan introducing a brother, but
Well, yeah, it's hilarious in hindsight.
yeah, in hindsight, yeah. But speaking of things, what really hurt
Jay Lethal's coming for
in
you.
the well, we're like, yeah, just don't have Booker T cut the promo. Um, but what really hurt was I'm like, wait a minute, is RPM coming out to Eli Drake? How old
Oh God, that's right. I
is
forgot
Eli
about that.
Drake's theme music? They gave him TNA stock music #6. All those years we was watching him and didn't remix it until like the last couple of years of his run or the last year, and that was him doing it.
Yep.
I'm like, how long did he know that it was stock music? Because I didn't know that. I was hurt.
Eli Drake in 2013 said, "I'm about to sign a contract with TNA. Let's see what the fuck. This is my theme. God damn it."
I'm like, Jesus, y'all should have just kept him. Y'all could have kept him with the Rising theme for that. At least that was kind of original.
God, the
Oh man.
Rising, Marcus. Like this show's gonna be a fun little just. Whenever our Thursday show becomes on the off days, we're gonna do a lot of looking back at TNA, I believe, and just going, "What? What?" We are going to talk about The Rising because it was Drew Galloway, arguably the bigger star in today's culture, Eli Drake, and then Micah Tamatonga,
Mike.
Tongaloa. Sorry, wrong tongue.
Who
Like, what a trio! Like what?
would have the piss beat out of him by Tongaloa if there was a those he's more aggressive now. But yeah, that was weird. And speaking of TNA, it was funny seeing was that I'm trying to see was that him on AEW program or was it NWA? That was Crimson in the NWA the other day,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's
Well,
a producer for the NWA.
oh well, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah. But I was worried over that stock music. I'm like, I know I'm not hearing Eli Drake's. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the themes that come on the when you're doing a creative wrestler. They
That
just added that. It's just a fact of life. Jesus Christ.
that theme would have been better than what Jay Lethal got. So next week, Zach is back. We're going to talk about comics. We're going to update you on The Mandalorian, which is fantastic. Man, that second episode, man.
Oh my God. I mean, everybody. I don't know one person that complained about Baby Yoda. I know people probably right now trying to make a Baby Yoda.
Are they fucking a bowl of jello? How does that work?
Like just a bunch of people like these people will probably trade in their real baby to get Baby Yoda.
To be fair, Baby Yoda can stop a giant elephant-sized alien with his hand. Yeah, I would be too.
I, I just
So,
want to like see a hit of somebody taking him in an ER and him trying to heal everybody, and every time he gets close, somebody yanks him. Oh.
so, baby, what can you do? Baby Yoda, what can you do? Just drags like an entire thing of chicken wings from across the town. Sorry, baby. Baby Yoda wins.
No, or even better than that, he comes with his own theme music, closes his eyes, lifts his little baby hand up. Somebody goes, What the hell is that music coming from?
Marcus, you hear that too, right? Or do we both have simultaneous tumors?
And then you find out later after you pick him up, because I would imagine you need to clean him every so often. You realize he got a little pre-recorded little stereo in his that plays the music whenever his hand goes up. Ah.
That right there would make me love him even more because he's in on the bit. Anything that's in on the bit is something I can appreciate. But by the by, I don't believe in genocide as a rule of thumb. But I do believe in Jawicide. Death to
Oh,
Jawas.
again, with the same brain. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me he went damn near died for these little bastards and they couldn't even put his shit back on his ship?
For an egg. For an egg.
For some uncooked body goo.
Oh, like I like eggs, man, but like don't be eating it raw like that. You gross little turds. Like seriously, Vader fucked up by not killing all the Jawas. Like if I was Darth Vader and Palpatine's like, Lord Vader, what do you want? Kill all the Jawas. Do we have a lot of options? We could take over, take and kill all the Jawas. But Lord Vader, kill all the Jawas. All right. Damn, well, let's go kill all the Jawas then.
I would have had Baby Yoda tip that ship over on him.
Right?
Because they was right there. I'm like, you mean to tell me these little a-holes jacked his ship, then hustled him by making him go get this egg for him, and then he had to get his stuff back and then put it back on himself. I'm like, hell no, y'all haul my stuff back and you put it back the way you damn found it. I'm not finna like just I got beef with the Jawas. I got serious beef with those little bastards now.
They are the worst thing in the Star Wars canon. Kill all the Jawas. Hashtag Jawacide. Hashtag 2020. I will say
Hashtag yeah, hashtag I have spoken for president.
this. I will say this. I have spoken. The funniest part of that whole fucking episode is like when the Mandalorian finally climbs the goddamn what do they call it? Sand Treader, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
Sandwalker, I think it's some kind of weird name, and he climbs that Jawa fucking obstacle, that car, Jawa tank, and he gets to the top, and there's 30 Jawas sitting there pointing a gun at him, and you don't hear him say it, but you just know he's saying, "Motherfucker."
between between that and the, hey, spit that out. No, no, never mind.
Because he eats the goddamn frog thing. Oh, little baby Yoda. I like how he just like swallows a whole like a fucking frog or like a dolphin just like swallows it. Like, damn, baby Yoda, you are not a picky eater. But I'm also
If
afraid
they
to fall
could,
asleep in front of you now.
if they could financially make it conducive for them to keep him 100% all the time, that could be a spinoff that nobody will complain about and may be more popular than the boys.
Yoda, baby, he's coming to eat your pets.
But everybody would
Yo.
just be like, don't have him grow up and don't have him speak.
Well, he's 50, so I feel like if we even got 10 seasons, would we even see him age?
this is true.
This is true. Plus, Gina Carano's coming up, and she's gorgeous, and I want to have all the babies with her. Even some Yoda babies.
Oh, no, or not even that. Have her show up during the time where he's going through puberty.
Oh, God. I feel like that's just a Groot segment waiting to happen.
Yeah, except now instead of animals, he's lifting clothing.
Dude. The sad part is, I would totally write that. You'd have a Anita Sarkeesian on Twitter going, I don't like what they're doing with the Yoda baby, making him be a pervert like that. It's just gross. And I'm sitting here going, ha, you lifted her skirt.
Yeah, you could already hear some a-hole typing out. Somebody start a Ye 2 movement.
I too have been victimized by the Yoda baby. It's just a bunch of like random ass aliens coming forward on Twitter.
Ah.
Like a random Jawa's there. Everyone looks at the
All right.
Jawa. Everyone looks back at the Yoda baby. They look back at the random Jawa, and the random Jawa is now in the ceiling fan, and the Yoda baby's hand is like slowly lowering.
This is why me and Chad can't be in charge of content.
So let me get this straight, Chad. You want the Yoda baby to be accused of sexual indiscretions. You want one of them to be a Jawa. That he exterminated the race out of. And then you want to kill the last one at a trial where he's pointing the finger at the Yoda baby for the crimes against him and his people. I don't see what the problem is. You will.
Then they be like, and while we're at the matter, where is the current whereabouts of Baby Yoda? And then my creative genius, we just cut to a scene at a strip club where he's drinking some form of liquor out of a baby bottle. And then all you see is this stripper in the middle of the ad twirling.
Can I improve on this?
You look down, the hands up, and dun, 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 dun. You got the Adam music.
I love that. So instead of like it being like liquor out of a baby cup, he's got a mug of milk, and he's got the little milk mustache. And as he's lifting his hand to remove the top of a stripper, two strippers walk by going, "We don't serve milk here." And the other one goes, "Oh, Janice must be still breastfeeding." Yeah, we're never gonna get hired by Disney.
We would cause the internet to implode, and Star Wars fans would pull their freaking heads out like Edge. Uh, which I would also pay to see.
Right? Yoda baby pulling off Lita's top like Edge, doing the eyebrow waggle. Oh, we've ruined the baby Yoda. Oh no, he's the last of his kind. What did we do?
Oh, we turned the Baby Yoda into a DBZ abridged episode.
Yes, we did.
Completely.
That is how we live our lives. It is only fair that this is how we continue to live our lives to this day. All right, Marcus. ACH is a free agent officially. How do you feel?
Good, because now he can go and do whatever his heart desires, and he doesn't have to. Well, they actually let him go.
Yeah.
We gotta back up. They actually let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, they didn't need him, and he was probably turning out to be more trouble than he was worth to them. I don't think they're lacking black talent or black talent that's athletic and can do certain things. So, yeah, I'm happy for the guy. Now he can go and do whatever he wants to, any place he wants to go wrestle, or like I suggested, um, probably just go take a break, go off and maybe vacation somewhere and kind of sit back and kind of reevaluate stuff. Himself, what's happened to him, things he could have did better, and yeah. But I'm glad they let him go. Hopefully he's the first of many, because like I said, they're overpopulated.
Well, we mentioned before that Oni Larkin may have been let go as well, so it's very
Yeah.
very possible. ACH needs to buy a tiny house and go camping for a few weeks. Just clear the head.
Yep. Yeah, man. We all need perspective sometimes. Like him, let him go. Only please let Mike go. That's done.
Yeah, Mike is just one. Just let him go, man. He's been through enough.
Just let him go.
He's going bald, for Christ's sakes. He's going through enough.
Going bald. He's about to have another kid. Just let him go do his thing, man.
Anything else happened today on the wire that you want to mention?
No, that's about it. Did you check out that I guess CM Punk's debut on the thing. I didn't. I just saw clips. I didn't really check it out.
I did not, but I'm seeing everyone who ever had a problem with him going, certainly great to have him back now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Corey Graves. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Triple H said, "Oh, you're gonna like this." So Triple H did an interview, and he was asked, "Do you appreciate or what do you think of talents who voice their displeasure online?" Well, Triple H went very Vince McMahon, saying, "I don't like it at all. This is the professional wrestling industry. Emphasis on professional. Airing your dirty laundry publicly. That's not what we're about." So Triple H is gonna be just as bad as his father-in-law. Just saying, folks. Just saying.
If you're inferring that they get what they want if they just come to you, you could just say that instead of instead of just saying that they're shitty business people inside a very good business.
Right, like, and that's the thing. He didn't say any of that specifically. He said like we'd be willing to work with you. The point is that these guys don't want to work with you and are putting public pressure on you to get out of their deals. They wouldn't have to do that if you weren't so goddamn aligned in keeping them on board against their own wishes. Like, what do you benefit from having unhappy talents? Fucking Triple H is a dumb
Yeah,
motherfucker.
because most of those guys already know they're probably going to go to him about their creative direction and get the same line that he fed Cody Rhodes. This is a big ass play, and everybody has their role. Right now, we want you to be a very offshoot of your brother.
Triple H, how many plays have you watched in your life? One. It was the Trial of the Big Bad Wolf. It was pretty good. All right, Triple H. Pats him on the head. All right. All right, well, that's all we got for you guys today. We'll be back on Sunday. Survivor Series is Sunday, Marcus.
Is this Survivor Series or Takeover?
Survivor Series. Well, both, technically. Takeover Saturday,
Oh,
Survivor Series is Sunday.
gotcha. Yeah, no rest for the weary. I feel like they didn't get any breaks after this damn European tour. I mean, they might as well have went to Europe. Yeah, they had a European tour after the damn.
They
Uh,
did. You were right.
wow, after the freaking plane debacle. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Yep. That money's earned. Some of it.
Looking at you, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. So we'll do after Survivor Series on Sunday. We'll go live. I will try to watch Survivor Series. It'll be the first WWE content I've seen since SummerSlam, at least. Well, aside from some minor moments on SmackDown. So this is gonna be fun. I can't wait to see what I've missed. It's gonna be
Oh, oh,
it's gonna be the worst.
oh yeah. This is me. Nobody can. Obviously, you guys listening can't see us, but I'm doing the little rascal salute to Trey Miguel's mom right now. Hey, Miss Miguel.
Oh, Tay! Trey's mom has got it going on. She's all I want, and I waited so long.
Like me and Chad have to revel in these moments because after the Claire Lynch thing, the only beautiful woman that we've had ringside has been that young beautiful lady that me and Chad got attached to with the curl that was always by ringside. Um,
Oh,
you can
yeah!
all
The,
those tapings.
the sweet little to be politically incorrect, hot black chick.
Yeah, hot black chick with the curls. Saw so much I thought she was like like she gonna be a part of the narrative going forward.
I thought she
But
was
no,
someone's girlfriend. Mine. No, I wish.
speaking into existence. And then now Trey Miguel's mom. And I guess whoever those chicks were for Ace Austin.
We appreciate you, Ace Austin. We appreciate you. And I want to go on record saying that Claire Lynch isn't ugly. She's attractive. She just wasn't the right kind of attractive. She was supposed to be like this blonde bombshell bimbo, according to Christopher Daniels, and she looked more like a mom.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
Trey's mom.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
normal
AJ
mom.
Styles was describing what we would later come to know as Scarlett Bordeaux.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. So we'll be back in a few days on Sunday for another edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast, the Survivor Series 2019 edition. But before we get there, Friday we are going to be back for the Season 4 and series finale of the OC for another edition of the Ohio Guys Productions. Brings you straight out of Chino. Then we started our Christmas episodes for the Ohio Guys. We're going to be doing the Grinches, all 3 films, 1 episode. Marcus, we're going to be talking Hallmark movies and other things. I'm not sure. Swisher needs to come up with the list. And we're not gonna have another GameCorp this week. We are still off for the next week or two. So y'all enjoy yourselves. Then we're back on Sunday, back on Tuesday, and back in the swing of things through next week.
Are we on or off for Thursday? Because you know that's Turkey Day.
We will be off for Thursday. We're actually going to be off for Wednesday as well, because Zach's going to have family in town Wednesday night. So, Marcus, you and I will be the last show for the pre-Thanksgiving holiday festivities on Tuesday. And then we're going to be off for 2 days, and we might be back Friday. Well, we're going to be back Friday. We've already determined that. But yeah, so no show Thursday. Marcus, enjoy your giant bird of turkey and your mashed of potatoes.
Like I'm about to say likewise, but I think you told me you don't do the traditional Thanksgiving thing. You have a tradition of your own.
Well, it depends on the year. My brother invited us down this year, and we might be getting a big old turkey this year. But last year we did lasagna.
Gotcha.
Because we're fucking weird like that. So, yeah. No, it was actually, I think it was just pasta last year with the old school sauce. I don't know what we're doing this year. I might go down and see my brother. I might just get like a bunch of potatoes and make like potato skins and put bacon on them and buffalo sauce and sour cream and cheese and then die on Friday because of a heart attack. But it'd be a hell of a way to go. How did he die? 32 potato skins. That bastard. That's too much. I'm sitting there still barely alive. It was worth it. Buffalo sauce. I'm addicted to buffalo sauce. I'm gonna be 100 at that one, guys. If I ever die of an OD, it's gonna be on buffalo sauce. Once I discovered how to make it at home, Marcus, that's the end of my life. And it's just Frank's Red Hot and butter. That's all it is. And you whip it together. When I realized it was that simple, Marcus, I was putting it on everything. Chicken, beef, my Cheerios. Cheerios never tasted so damn good.
Yeah, you really have a death wish.
Am I supposed to be bleeding from every orifice? No, you're not. Stop eating buffalo sauce. That's like saying don't breathe. It ain't gonna happen, Doc.
No, Cheerios are supposed to help your heart, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what's happening. My bad, heart. My bad. I guess when they say the O goes around and around, they weren't referring to this.
Like Chad's last day on Earth is literally the Osmosis Jones movie. But Osmosis didn't win.
Oh, goddamn. How are we referencing that film twice in a week? How?
What we do.
That film is not great. Although, animation-wise, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like saying, yeah, you know what my favorite Indiana Jones film is? Young Indy. What?
Hey,
My favorite Marvel film is Elektra. What?
Oh, God, he went back for that one.
Yeah, I pulled my back out going back for that one. That was a long-term pull right there, folks. So yeah, we'll be back Sunday to talk Survivor Series, the Thanksgiving kickoff, and we'll see how it goes. So, realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. I have to write a bunch of new columns because the ones I pre-wrote, are all up now. So go check them out. Brand new columns, like 10 of them. Go read. Enjoy it. You can find me on Fansided MMA specifically. I just did a column on there recasting MMA fighters as Rocky actors. So see who I cast in those roles. Yes, Ronda Rousey does play the Russian blonde bitch because just like the Russian blonde bitch, she has no emotions. I went there. We're also on. Yes.
Sounds about right.
It sounds about right. We're on Twitter at NerdCorp, NERDCORP. We're on Instagram at RealNerdCorp, RealNERDCORP. You can join the movement at freecornet.com. I'm kidding. We would never. That's a waste of time,
Oh,
money, and energy.
but wait. If you still have any scrupulous or horrid words or just a piece of your mind you would like to give Cornette, you can send that to our very well established complaint account, Chad. If you could please get after them.
I do believe the complaint account is at Baron Corbin WWE.
There it is.
If he replies, if we reply with "Why are you texting me? Stop texting me. I have no idea why you're sending me your complaints." It's just the automated response. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You can find us on Podbean at realnerdcorp.podbean.com or by downloading the Podbean app and searching for Real Nerd Corp via the app. We're also on iTunes at NerdCorp, NERDCORP, under the podcast section of the iTunes Store. We're on YouTube.com and Twitch.tv/Wrestling Underground and Comics and GameCorp. The YouTube links are down below or to the left or to the right or above your head or on the website, depending on how you're listening to this. Marcus, you can be found on Twitter at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
Yes, sir.
As well as his other podcast that he steps out on us on with at The True Penny Show, at The True Penny Show on Twitter. TruePennyShow, True Penny Show on Twitter. I'm also on Twitter at Chad Nerdcorp, CHAD, as well as on Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. I'm about to upload some spectacular sunrise photos. So you're going to want to follow that because I post really just weird, not weird shit, but like, I like the dodo, which is like dog videos and scenery. I'm a weird dude.
Yeah, my boy's on this photography game. He got his photography game up, and I'm also big fan of scenery. So check it out.
Sunrise, sunset, big old bushes, and dogs doing dog things. It's what I'm all about. Did I forget anything on the rundown?
I don't think so.
Well, if I did, you can go to realnerdcorp.com, RealNERDCORP.com, and when you're done downloading podcasts and reading the articles, we got all of our socials on there anyway. So it's the hub. It's the hub. So for Marcus Green, I'm Chad Portal. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving us a chance. And remember to watch more wrestling. Marcus, take us home.
Good night, me.